So I wanted to say, if we all know that if the bench is really healthy and the park is really healthy, being outside is healthy, why is it that in the winter the rain is keeping us indoors? So I made that the focus of my grad project. I wanted to bring people outside in the rain in the winter. So I graduated this last May, and I'd like to show you my process of going through the community projects course, and as well as which led into my grad project last spring. So going through the natural capital, my relationship that built with David Suzuki Foundation, how wetlands plays a part with this, Jericho Park in particular, the weather in Vancouver being rain, and community, and then my project, which I'll get into. So I want to play this short video, which will explain a little bit of how it kickstarted my inspiration.
What inspires me the most through the seasons? I would say the changes that are happening through the seasons. In the springtime, you can smell something fresh, something, the leaves are coming out, and then through the summer, the spring, the flowers and all of this. And through the fall, the leaves, I consider it almost like a cathedral, you know, a big space with the trees, and it's there's no noise really other than natural noise. I could just imagine a symphony.
That was Shingi, and he is a local resident of Jericho Park in Kitsilano. And he explains to me through a series of interviews how he fell in love with Jericho Park and the birds and the forests and the trails and the hikes. We also interviewed a couple others at this park, Anna Kim and Stephen, and looked at their stories and their experiences with this park and the nature. And through what I took away was that they all had a relationship with the bench, which is something as an industrial designer I see quite often, and when I look at it, I look at the forms, the fit, the ergonomics, the comfort, but from their perspective, it all had a cultural, recreational tie. For Jingi, the bench to him was a place where he would sit and meet a bird that would come back and visit him. For Anna Kim, she would think of her family in Korea, and it was a cultural moment. And for Stephen, it was his office outside of his home, where he could do yoga, answer emails, take some notes, and not be in his basement dwelling. So this gave me an idea of how am I going to connect this experience of Vancouver urban green spaces into something that we can use all year. Because the problem with the bench is that these visitors couldn't go in the winter because it was raining. So I wanted to say, if we all know that if the bench is really healthy and the park is really healthy, being outside is healthy, why is it that in the winter the rain is keeping us indoors? So I made that the focus of my grad project. I wanted to bring people outside in the rain in the winter. So looking at Jingi, he inspired me with the part of the trees being a canopy around him with sounds and water reflections and all this motion that's happening like a symphony. I really started doing a lot of walks on my own, and I really took on to this feeling quickly. And other aspects like light and smell and shelter, and thinking, how am I going to bring this back to the bench without trying to shelter the bench, bring these elements of rain and make it something that is inviting and wants you to be in the rain. Started looking at different benches and ways that I can combine these elements. But more importantly, I wanted to keep taking these inspirations from the community and work that into the piece of furniture itself. So I did yoga in the rain. I started a rain enthusiast meetup group in Vancouver. We did acoustics in the rain and drumming and running and hiking and even playing cards in the rain, things that you wouldn't normally do in the rain, just to get some ideas of what that could look like. So this was what I ended up with. It's called a rain bench, and the title of the project is So They Called It Rain Bench, because I never gave it a name, but that's what people called it. And what it is it's a round bench, so you can sit out in the rain, and the roof is kinetic. So once it rains, it starts to start moving and come alive with the water and really gets your attention and wants you to be outside in the water. So I'll just play a demonstration of how one of these leaves would work. So you can see there when the water gets too heavy, it kind of starts building momentum and then it rolls forward and releases the water. So this bench, with the help of David Suzuki Foundation, Emily Carr, and the City of Vancouver, will be installed in the next couple months here in Trillium Park, Strathcona. So that was a great victory, and we worked really hard to find the right park for it. This park is actually going to be a water-featured park, so it'll have artist workstations, it'll have sound, amphitheater, and a wetland or a little water pond in it. So yeah, and being on like the cultural side, there was so much emotion that went into the project, but at the whole time, it was good to have this because it was really balancing out the technical aspects of building a bench that's kinetic, 14 feet tall, requires welding and sewing and woodworking. So it was quite, and a lot of legal aspects as well. So it was quite an exciting winter. And yeah, so thank you for David Suzuki Foundation for making this possible, Emily Carr, and all the projects that are coming up. Wish you the best of luck and congratulations.